Hi, everyone. Welcome to TSP Weekly, the Tech Startup Podcast for June the 17th. My name is Steven. This is Amaris.
Hi, Steven.
How are you, Amaris?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Super.
I'm well. I'm ready for a good weekend.
Yeah.
Awesome weather, it looks like.
So there, almost.
Yeah, we had a lot of events this week.
It's not even there. But,
One more.
But I mean, they'll look at it on Monday and they'll know that we had a lot of events. One more to go.
Yep, that's true.
And I can't tell them about it because they'll miss it.
This is a little bit topical events because today we're talking to
Yeah.
Dave Wilk from NeverForgetPhoto.
Yeah, we were just talking about how to use this for our my events.
Yeah.
You don't have
Absolutely.
events. I have events.
go to them. You have them.
Yeah.
That's right. It's a fine line. So, Dave, how are you today?
Good, good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well, thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for joining us this morning
Thanks for having us.
on the most awkward podcast that you can possibly imagine.
Awesome, awesome.
So, Dave, give us your pitch. What is NeverForgetPhoto?
So NeverForgetPhoto, we are a photo booth rental company. We manufacture all of our booths, and we have 3 different styles of booths. We have an enclosed style booth, an open air kiosk style booth, and our new do-it-yourself or DIY photo booth that we brought here today.
Oh,
so
awesome.
the DIY photo booth, it is easy to use plug and play unit that's small enough it can fit in any car. It's a 24-hour rental where clients, they pick up the booth from us. They have it for 24 hours. They drop it back off to us, and it's at a $299 price point for the 24 hours.
Oh, neat.
So we can get in with a lot more smaller budget events and a wider variety of event types.
Really neat. Now, does that come with a costume rack or any of the glasses? Or any of the...
It doesn't come with the props,
Okay.
but it does come with everything that a regular photo booth does have to offer. So your DSLR camera, your native lighting, touchscreen monitor, and your dye sublimation printer. So it still prints off 2 photo strips. So you get the whole photo booth experience, but you are, if you do want props or costumes, then you can grab your own.
You have your own.
That would
Let's
make
be
for an
serious.
awkward customer experience. I got my photo booth back, man, but I'm missing 2 red noses and a big goofy glasses. They're in your house somewhere. Please find them.
That's just it, right? They can add that on top, and they can purchase props if they want. But yeah, a lot of them, they just use their own from their own Tickle trunks.
Awesome.
Yeah, Tickle Trunk.
Yeah.
Scary.
Dr. Dress-Up, come on.
Wow.
Mr. Dress-Up, Doctor. Wow, that's worse. So much
Went from
worse.
scary and awkward to really, really deep and scary and awkward. So
amazing.
how's business then? Are you guys taking lots of pictures of people?
Yeah, business is good. We officially launched our do-it-yourself booths last January in 2015, and year to date we've done over 140 DIY events.
Wow.
So we have 3 booths. We're working with one retailer in Kitchener, Victoria Party Store, as a pickup and drop-off location, and we're talking with a few retailers in Toronto to use them as a pickup and drop-off location right now. Too.
So when did you start this business? I'm kind of curious.
Started it in October 2010.
Okay, so you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, a few years.
And you manufacture all your booths. Where are you doing that?
We are doing it at my place and now
Your
my
state-of-the-art
partner's place.
facility.
Exactly. Basically
Your
a
house.
garage. So I have 3 other partners, and one of the partners is an industrial designer by trade. So the 4 of us would come up with ideas, and then he basically brings them to life.
Oh,
Very
that's
neat.
great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So a team of 3 or 4, you said?
4.
And you have the best garage. Is that how that works?
I had the biggest garage.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
It's fair.
That's really neat.
That's what happens.
So how did you guys meet as founders, and how did you come up with this idea to get into the photo booth business?
Yeah, so 2 of my friends, we went to school together. One we went to elementary school, the other one we met in junior high, all the way through high school. And then I went down to Australia, got my bachelor's down there, and I met the 3rd partner, Stephanie. We went to school down in Australia there, but she is from Ontario here.
Okay.
So then when we came back, kind of brought all of us together and started it.
And what was the genesis of that idea? Was somebody expert in that other than your?
No, not really. We
Did you go through a bunch of different
Do you like
ideas? then?
pictures and do you like events? Is that kind of what started it, or?
Myself and Brandon and Kyle, who are the other partners, we always wanted to start a business since we were young, and we tossed around a few different business ideas, and I found this idea, the photo booth rental business in Australia. And Stephanie, she worked for a company down there, and one afternoon, Kyle, Brandon, and I would just sat down at a park bench. And
Park bench,
yeah,
really?
right?
I was envisioning like beer, but you can't drink on park benches.
Yeah. And so we wanted to start a business. We didn't know what business we were going to start. So we went through a few different business ideas, researched those, and the easiest one for us to start up at the time would be the photo booth.
Apparently the
Glorious
AC is turned
AC.
on.
It's a good sign of a hot summer.
Yeah.
So is this something that you guys are thinking of franchising now that you've sort of proved the model out here locally?
Yeah, not so much franchising, but having retailers as partners, where for the do-it-yourself model, that's really where we're looking to grow the business, and just having it's very easy for the retailers to get ready for the clients. It's basically they just pick up and drop it back off.
Are there supplies that they have to add into it?
There'd be print media that
Right.
they would need to add into it,
Okay.
but it's it's real simple for it take not even 5 minutes for someone to get it ready for the next client, and then so that's what we're looking right now is to just retail or partner with retailers and then expand the business that way.
Great.
Very neat. Last question for this section, I think. Maybe tell us a little bit about the community. Have you had any community support, or have you used any of the incubators, or any mentors, or are you sort of the 4 lone businessmen that came back from Australia and are cutting your own swath?
Yeah, we haven't used any incubators. It was mainly.
The garage incubator.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
Garage
mainly the
band.
garage. A lot of support from our family when we first started, and just kind of
Bootstrapping yourself?
bootstrapping the business big time, and just doing things on our own, and hoping that we're making the best decisions each time. Yeah.
So do you have, like, how did you learn the business sense to do a business? It's not something you can just, well, I mean, you could just do it.
Struggle along, but
Yeah.
We kind of do that.
I went to school for business marketing, and the other partner, Stephanie, she went to school for business management, and then Brandon, he went to he's an industrial designer by
Right.
trade, so he's able to manufacture the booths, and then Kyle, he deals with all of our software.
Okay.
The software end of it. So the 4 of us, we come together as a pretty good team.
the Fantastic
and-
Four.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And complement each other well.
Thank you.
Think? Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. We're going to talk to Dave about his 3x3 now, his 3 wins, 3 losses, 3 glimpses of the future. Dave, tell us about some wins you've had.
So I'd say the 3 wins. The first of all is we're one of the first photo booth companies in the industry. So we're one of the first to market. And
In this area or?
in Ontario.
Okay.
So we feel that was a big success or a big win in making us successful right off the bat and being able to generate money. Since now there's over 200 companies in Ontario that we can think of. So
It's a struggle, yeah.
yeah. Another win, touched on it a little bit before, is our team. With the 4 partners, we can talk critically, talk about the future. If something isn't going well, then we're willing to look at that and change things.
It sounds like you guys have known each other for long enough that you've probably dealt with those conflicts that a lot of those brand new companies deal with.
Yeah, and it's really good to be able to have a meeting and almost yell at each other, but be able to come out with constructive.
No fists are flying?
Not usually.
I'm
not
envisioning
usually.
like,
A lot of cameras around.
Right? Yeah, yeah. You don't want that photo evidence.
Are you
right?
guys all working on this full time?
I'm the only full-time guy.
Okay.
And then the 3 others, they have their own full-time jobs.
Okay.
Okay.
That helps the burn rate a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And so I'd say the team, especially not coming from an incubator and us from the different backgrounds that we have, that really helps make more educated decisions.
Right.
And then I'd say our ability to innovate
Okay.
and adapt to the market trends. With our recent example of the DIY photo booth,
Right.
And people looking for a lower cost option, but still wanting the whole photo booth experience at the same time.
Is there anything proprietary or any patents you can get to sort of eliminate some of those 200?
There could be some patents in this newer model, but it's not something. It's something that we might look into in the future, but we haven't quite yet. Most other photo booths, they're mass produced in the States by maybe a handful of companies. So there isn't another product on the market as the do-it-yourself booth right now.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, right now. Keyword. So, and it isn't being marketed, or no other booths are a pick up and drop off and a 24-hour rental as it is right now.
So a typical model would be that they would have to contact a company, and the company would deliver it and set it up and manage it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So they'd set it up, they'd run it for the event with an attendant there, and then at the end of the event, take it down and bring it back. And that's what we do offer with our full service offerings as well.
Are you the attendant?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I am, yeah.
Like, I'm just envisioning if everyone else has a full-time job and this is your full-time job, that's got to be you.
Well, we do have part-time employees. We have
Okay,
about
okay.
8 part-time employees right now who they go to a lot of our events and
Great.
do that, but I am there every once in a while, yeah.
Any zombie faces or face swapping software?
We can.
I have kids, so they're into, like, there's all kinds of
Yeah.
picture software that you do now, right?
We can do a bunch of different, we can do masks or, sketching or different types of
It's cool.
different types of colors.
Yep.
With a green screen backdrops, a lot of corporate events like those.
Yeah.
You can be in the
I
top
can
of the CN
envision-
Tower.
Yeah, you can be anywhere
I was
you
thinking
want.
dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's
Jungle.
interesting.
T-Rex about to
Yeah,
bite off your head.
yeah, I love that photo.
And what are you doing in front of the T-Rex background? Running in fear?
Running, yeah. Where you're fighting it, I don't
I
know.
like that. So as Amaris is running, speaking of losses, tell me a little bit about some struggles that you guys have had. Have you come up against any T-Rexes in your journey?
No T-Rexes, but
You started this, Amaris.
Have you had any losses or failures you'd like to talk about?
yeah, some struggles for sure.
Okay.
When I guess I said before, there's over 200 different companies in Ontario, and one of the hardest things is people, they don't, at least right now, they're not able to differentiate between the different companies. So
And I apologize for that earlier.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Because a lot of people, they just see photo booth A, photo booth B.
Yep.
And in that aspect, I guess one of our second challenges is price-conscious consumers, which, in one hand, I think it's the market, the strong competitors has kept the price point low, but then obviously any consumer is always looking to get the lowest price for the same type of service.
Right.
And for a few years, that's kind of where our DIY booth came from. Is there's a lot of first birthdays or anniversaries that people, they want the photo booth, but they can't spend the $1,000 in order to get the full service. So, and in reality, it's a pretty simple unit, you know. So we've tried to figure out how to make that happen.
But that's because you were struggling with competition? Is that sort of where that came from?
Not necessarily. It was more of a need that we identified in the market, and trying to cut costs with us at the same time. Employees, travel, rental costs.
Right.
Those are a decent amount.
Yeah.
That can add up, right?
Any other failures or pivots or struggles?
Yeah, I'd say our other struggle would be getting into retailers and partnering with them. We've been talking with a few in Toronto right now for probably about half a year, and it's we'd like to think that there's some progress. Like, we do have our one retail location here in town, which has been great. Been a great partnership, but it's a lot harder than what we thought it would be to be able to break in and
Yep.
identify with other companies.
Sure. We rely on some technology to bring this lovely podcast to the masses.
You do?
And sometimes our technology fails us. Any stories of being at a big event and the CPU burned out or the flux capacitor went down, or I know those are technical terms, but
Flux capacitor.
we flux capacitor. I like
it's
it.
Back to the Future, yeah.
Yeah, right. We've had quite a few events. Technology, it does can definitely break down each time. Our very first event, we were with Oktoberfest here in town, doing an Oktoberfest preview event at Conestoga Mall.
Okay.
And so our booth was there. We spent, it was an all-nighter, finished building the booth and getting it ready. We were flying in, setting up the booth, and all of a sudden the printer didn't work. Worked perfectly fine the night before,
Right.
doesn't matter.
yeah, exactly, right? It matters right now. So Brandon and Kyle, they took the printer, they tore it apart, and they finally found there was a cable loose in it, so they put it back together. 2 hours later, they came back. Luckily, they didn't pay us or we didn't pay them to be there, so it was kind of, we're helping each other out. But yeah, it was our very first event that.
Well, you've learned from that, I'm
sure.
Sure.
Yes, for sure.
Trial by fire.
Yeah.
Triple test the printer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. So what's the future look like for us? Give us 3 tidbits of Never Forget's future.
Are you part of Never Forget?
Give us 3 bits of our.
Of his future.
Yeah. What's your future? What's going on?
We're What
are you having for lunch?
I don't know yet, but we'll see. We're looking to expand the DIY booths across Ontario to start. Ideally, we'd like to go across Canada and then further from there, since it's just an easy concept, just being able to find the right partners in the right areas.
With that kind of growth, do you expect that you'll have to figure out another way to manufacture, or?
Right now, we outsource quite a bit of the manufacturing process, and then we basically just put the booth together once all the parts are there.
Okay.
So at this point, we don't see that we'll need to find a different process.
Right.
But you never know. We'll cross that bridge when it comes, and we're looking to possibly sell the do-it-yourself booths to other companies who would be interested in using it.
So white labeling it.
We'd still have it as our brand.
Branded.
But they could really do whatever they want with it once they have it.
Give them the keys then. Okay.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. How much does one of those go for?
If people would want
them. I was just thinking maybe I want one.
Yeah. I mean, upwards of 10,000.
Yeah, I don't have that.
But
you have that?
But for you, Amaris, $9.99.
Exactly. But if you want it for a 24-hour rental, only $299.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Right. We'll talk later.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So what other future things? Any other goals for the future?
I think that's about it. I mean,
like further innovations maybe, or?
Yeah, there's definitely further innovations. We've talked about possibly not having the printer in there, just because it is a large cost. It is a large weight aspect when people are transporting it. But people, at least for right now, they do like the physical copies.
Yeah.
Especially when was the last time that we've printed off a picture of anything, right?
Yeah.
The
old Polaroids are coming back.
But it's totally my job. So.
Yeah. All right.
Is that? I was going to ask. Is that what the people, most of the customers enjoy? Is it the experience of taking the photos and dressing up with their buddies, or is it the actual putting it on their fridge later?
It's both. I mean, the experience at the time is, everybody has a great time, but it's also having the hard copy to be able to take home, put on your fridge or put on your mirror, and then you're able to experience that every day versus, if you have a digital copy, you won't be able to see that until you look at it or decide to look at it again.
Right.
Is there any digital, do you store any of the digital pictures?
Yeah, so you get a USB memory stick at the end of the rental period, so all the photo strips, all the individual pictures, and then we can do email uploading or social media uploading for a lot of corporate events.
That's what I was thinking, corporate events. It's great to have those pieces of paper, but corporate
you share them on your intranet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you can make fun of that person who got really drunk at the holiday party. It's important.
And dominated the photo booth.
Yeah. I know.
You will never forget that
There can
night.
be some issues. There can be some issues at corporate events.
Has there been any of those that you can't talk about, but you can just nod and blink?
You'll never forget.
There's definitely. There's this one event that it was a corporate event, and the gentleman, he emailed us and he said, "There's this picture of me and another lady in the booth. Can you take those pictures down from the online gallery?" So I went, and of course we can take it down, no problem. They're just sitting in the booth and
smiling.
Smiling. It wasn't anything big.
It's
and
not
then
his wife.
2 weeks later, the lady, she said, "Oh, there's a picture that isn't on the online gallery that I would like. Can you
put it up?
Email?"
Oh, no.
No, she don't want it to put it up, but she's like, "Can you email it to me?" I'm like, "Well, of course we can email it to you. You're in the pictures." So I don't know what the fallout of that was. I mean, they did look pretty platonic in the
Well, drama.
Picture's worth 1,000 words.
Right? Yeah.
Seriously?
I don't know. Low-hanging fruit, I guess.
Oh my God, you did it again.
So that's awesome. What about, let's talk about locally here. I know you come at this more of an entrepreneur. We talk to a lot of people that are in the startup world, in that soup fairly deeply. But what's your hashtag startup crush? Do you have anybody that you see locally that you...
Are you interacting with any other local companies that you've sort of seen? You must be, if you're talking about corporate events, those tend to be larger, but...
That's a good translation of this hashtag startup crush. Are you interacting with any local companies that you like?
Yeah, I mean, we work with a lot of we've worked with Communitech before, Vidyard, Velocity. We did an event with them last month, I believe.
That Kirkup's going away party. Yeah.
Yeah. So we love being, and D2L. We've done a lot of events with them as well. So
who is your real startup crush? Fuck, I have to say that.
You did it.
I didn't say that.
Did you guys get that?
Real startup crush. I don't know if I have just one. There's a lot.
Oh, you can tell us a few. We got time. Because this guy was talking too fast.
Vidyard?
Yeah, Vidyard, yeah.
They're great.
Yeah, what they're doing is, is pretty awesome. And, I mean, just even like the incubators, even like here, I think just what they're all doing is, bringing people together and trying to make even more amazing Canadian companies. You know? It's great, right?
It's good. You did that good.
Yeah, thank you.
We just had an awesome event on Wednesday, Startups and Beer.
Startups and Beer.
So that was kind of my
I heard about that.
startup crush this week was the
Startups and Beer event?
all 5 of the companies that were there.
Well, yeah, we're all pretty cool companies.
Magnet was there.
Magnet,
And,
Degero, Sortable, Vidyard,
And Axonify.
and Exonify. Yeah.
So that's who I was crushing.
Yeah, those are
on.
all really great companies. I mean, I work for one, but
Yeah, and they're all
So I know
kind of
that.
they're all kind of past the startup phase. Those are big
well,
big teenagers.
Sortable, I think is still kind of there.
Yeah, but they're a rowdy teenager, I'd say.
They're a rowdy teenager.
They're in their tweens
I
and they're
think that a couple of those companies are, young adults. Magnet
Yes.
is a young adult. Vidyard is definitely one of those.
Yeah, gotten past
This is
the.
an awkward analogy, and you made me do it.
Yes, thank you for coming along with that with me. So that was awesome. So those companies were really fun. How was it from the company standpoint?
I think it was great. There was a ton
the
of
peeps
people.
like?
It was a super sweaty event.
Yep.
It was a loud event, but I think it was a really good. It's a good time.
You guys were rocking the Jenga,
Yeah, we do that a lot.
which was really fun.
The thing is, like, that's our Django. We have that in our office, so we dispute. We have fights about that. Like,
Right.
if there's a fight, we all right, take it to the Jenga.
So you like count the pieces after an event? Because if you miss one, that could be like devastating to the.
I already know how many.
You just look at it and.
I know what that box looks like when it's full. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was a good event. I think. Yeah.
Very crowded. A lot of people. I saw like 700 people or at some point.
Just over 700 people. I think. Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. I mean, I like that event. I don't know if that's my startup crush.
ClearPath missed you at Hacker Nest this week. I know you weren't feeling well. Gavin stepped up and did a great job.
Well, I do love ClearPath, but I've said them a bunch of times before.
Yep, so you can't use them.
No, they have like amazing robots, and they're growing like crazy.
I went to your Control V crush last week with my son. It was awesome.
Yeah.
The VR arcade.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So who is your startup crush? I'm trying to give you as much time as I can.
I know.
here.
I have one though.
Oh.
You're just kind of like I'm answering your questions.
Yeah, we're bantering along. Drum
I
roll,
would
please.
say Hive Waterloo, just because
Yes.
they're not, are they a thing yet? So the event I'm going to tonight is Year of Code Waterloo region transitioning into Hive Waterloo.
Yep.
That's something that's not often talked about because they're not so flashy. It's more about increasing digital literacy, and it's a lot about increasing that with children and with girls specifically. To sort of, they'll be the next developers or the next entrepreneurs when they're of the age to do that, and so we don't look at that as so flashy because it's not
An incubator with a big building and a whole bunch of desks. And
it's actually doing really great work. So because I know the organizers and I like what they do, and I'm going to a party tonight.
Yep, we've talked to Stephanie before.
And we're going to talk to her again.
Yeah, we should
think.
Once they've transitioned into
Yeah,
Hive, which
exactly.
is now. So,
Yeah.
So Dave, as we wrap up here, how do we follow your story? Are you on the Twitter vines?
Yeah.
Or, do you have a website?
Yeah,
Or tell us about that.
our website is NeverForgetPhoto.ca. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/NeverForgetPhoto, and Twitter, Instagram.
But your Twitter's
Pinterest.
weird.
Yes, so it's never and then number 4 get photo,
All right.
and that's all of our handles.
Any exciting events that you have coming up that you're going to be at that we should look out for?
Yeah, I like to go to events. So are there any that I
we-
need to go to?
Yeah,
You like to go to events too?
we're actually talking with the City Kitchener right now with Cruising on King
Okay.
in July with
I like cars.
with I'm there.
like cars?
So
I drive them.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's
That's a big
pretty
event.
neat event.
That's a big event in City Kitchener for sure.
Yeah, so I'd say that's probably our next closest big event, that public event that we're doing anyways.
Really neat.
Yeah.
We're here in the Distillery Labs today. Next week we're talking to
Josh Hillis.
Josh
of
Hillis.
the Distillery Labs.
So that'll be really fun.
Yeah.
Yep, saw him at Startup and Beer and
At every other event.
at every he's
at
out
every
and
event.
about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Except he's not here yet.
It's still early. So that's it for this week of the Tech Startup Podcast, or TSP Weekly. For myself, Stephen Campbell, my co-host Amaris Gerson, and our guest this week, David Wilk with NeverForgetPhoto. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you next week.